Hey everybody, thanks for joining me here today. Today's topic is going to be about creating custom styles in the new Topaz ReStyle. So let me tell you just a little bit about what we're going to be discussing here today. If you have not played with the new Topaz ReStyle yet, basically ReStyle is here. It's an exploratory plugin that offers inspiration. It allows you to explore over 1,000 different styles that you can apply to your images and see all these different creative possibilities. So very quickly you're able to achieve maybe the vision that you started off with, or even extend and enhance the vision of your image that you really didn't even know that was there. So it really is just a fun plugin to go in and really see what direction you can take your image in. And then once you choose a certain style, you can then manipulate it even further to really enhance it for your specific image. But one of the things that a lot of people have been asking is, how do you create your own customizable style? This plugin is different in the preset, the left-hand side. ReStyle introduces this cutting-edge process of actually mapping color and tone statistics from a selected style on the left-hand side to your target image. But how are those styles created? So that's what we're really going to be talking about here today. There's several different ways of actually creating these styles, and we're going to be walking through each one of them. But first, let's hop on into the program, and I will give you a quick intro if you're unfamiliar with the program. I am using CS6 here today, but we are compatible with Photoshop, Photoshop Elements, iPhoto, Aperture Lightroom, PaintShop Pro, Serif, other programs as well. You can check that out online under our support page, topazlabs.com/support. You can find the compatibility and other information about your system requirements on that page. But to access ReStyle, it would be the same way as you do the rest of our programs through the filters menu in Photoshop. So I'm just going to go there, Topaz Labs, and then Topaz ReStyle. When you open up into the program, if you've opened it up before, it usually has some sticky settings unless you've reset, and I guess I did. So I'm going to reset down here in the lower right first, just in case, and we'll just talk briefly about this interface. If you want an actual introduction to the program itself, we do have that posted online on our YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/topazlabs, and you can check that out at your convenience. But really quickly, we have all of our collections over here on the left, and that's really where we're going to be hanging out, talking about the actual styles that we have within. We have, I believe, 1,020 different styles for you to check out. So let's say I'm here in my night image. I might go to my night collection, pull up those presets, and then check those out by either scrolling over the different presets to see how it might affect my image, and then maybe once you find something you might get inspired by, you click on it, it's applied to your image. You can then come over to your right-hand side and work with it a little bit more by either taking the opacity down maybe, actually coming in and working with your color style itself, or some of these basic options we have for you as well. We'll be going over that here as well. But very quickly you can get some unique high-quality transformations. Here's before and here's after. If you want a very cool way of looking at all of these different styles much more quickly than just scrolling over, because as you can see we have a lot within each collection. So one way that I really enjoy looking at this is actually going into the grid view. It's the little grid icon all the way over to the right. Clicking on that, and the grid view will pop up and allow you to actually scroll through all of these different presets and check out and see, what might be kind of inspiring you and saying, you know what, I really like this. So maybe I like this hot pink drama. I can click on that. It's applied. Again, you can come in and change certain things if it's a little overpowering, like that one is to me a little bit. But very quickly, it can get something very different. Now, if I wanted to save this particular image as a preset, or as its own unique style, this is the first way that you're able to create customizable styles. So let's say I come into my I choose this hot pink drama preset, but I don't like how hot pink it is. I'm going to take my opacity down, and actually before I do that, I'm going to click on my my blending options here. It's this little gradient icon that you see. Click on that and just scroll over and see if maybe one of these blends work out a little bit better for me as far as this preset. And no, it doesn't. I'm going to go back to the normal. Sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. It's basically like each style over here, or preset, gives you 7 different options with these blending options. So I'd just like to check those out. So I am going to come over next to that and take my opacity down just to make it a little bit less crazy hot pink, but it's still much different than it started out as. I can come into my color style and work with my saturation and luminance. Maybe I want to take my blacks here, my primary color, and maybe take that a little bit to the left, see what happens. Take that down just a little. Not too much. Maybe I'll take my secondary color and I kind of like it just a little bit farther down. You can also come into the saturation and work with your saturation. So if you want to make that a little bit more saturated, we could do that as well. And maybe play with the hue as well. I'm not going to in this particular workflow, but we'll get around to that. If you're wondering what the primary, secondary, third, fourth, and fifth colors are, they are going to be the 5 most dominant colors within the style that you've selected. That does not mean those are the only colors you will see in your image. As you see here, there is some green still coming through, and it's not just because I changed the opacity. Let me go back to default here. Even when we're at default 100% and we haven't made any changes whatsoever, you can still see, let's say, like this yellow color right here and some of the yellows within the grass. None of that shows up over here in the right-hand side. That's for one of 2 reasons. First reason being, these 5 colors aren't the only colors within the style that has been saved over here on the left. It's actually pulling from images itself, and we're going to be talking about that here shortly a little bit more. So you have more colors. So you might see a couple other colors other than these dominant colors, but these are the ones that you can come in and actually work with and change and really make your own. The other reason is there are constraints put on how strong they are allowed to go onto your image. And this is one of the reasons we're able to still get these high quality complete style transformations even when it's really dramatic like this, because even though it is really dramatic, the actual gradation in the sky, the quality of the image has been kept. If this was allowed to transfer fully at 100% from another image's style, then you would start to see some more artifacts and stuff like that. So we have put some constraints on how strong it's allowed to go, but obviously it's still allowed to go very strong. All right, so I'm going to come back in and take my opacity back down because, again, we're making our own individual customizable style with this in this session. All right, so I'm pretty happy here. I am going to come into my basic module where I'm able to change my color, tone, and detail. In my detail, one of my favorite things is the structure slider. I'm just going to take that up a notch, and it's just going to give me a little bit more of localized contrast within my image and kind of bring back some of those blacks that started to kind of get a little hazy with this particular preset. I'm also going to come in, maybe take my black level down just, well, maybe not. Maybe my mid-tone level down. There we go. Mid-tone level down just a notch. I'll show you that before and after here. Here is before that structure. Here's before. And after. It's just a little pop. Let me show you that one more time. Here's before and after. And before the tone adjustments as well. All right, so this is very different from the really extremely pink style that we started off with. Now when I save this particular style, all I have to do is come down to this lower left-hand corner below the presets panel and press the plus button. That's going to bring up my Save Preset dialog box. And here I'm able to put in a preset name. So let's put in mild. It's not really mild, but it's not hot pink either. Let's just pink test. There we go. Created by Nichole. I could add a description in here. Maybe I say something like my hot pink drama style at 56%, something that just tells me a little bit more about it. Or you don't have to put anything there at all, but I do suggest that you put some keywords so you're able to search for it, and I'll show you these search tools here in just a moment. But here I might put in pink, black, night, mild, and you can come up with some other things as well. And it's going to be saved in my night collection unless I change that. And I am going to change that to my collection because that'll make it easier for us to find here in just a second. And I'm going to press OK. Within our other programs, when you save a preset, it's going to save all of the slider values over on the right-hand side. So see where our midtones are at -0.08, our black levels at -0.03, structure to create this was at 0.16, and we did change some opacity adjustments and things like that. That is not actually saved when you save this particular style. What's happening in ReStyle is the program is looking at what we see directly on our screen, and it is analyzing the tones, more importantly the colors in the images and the luminosity, and it is putting that all into a style preset. And so now I can come in to my collection, and let's see here, pink test. This is the actual preset. If I apply this to my image, it's going to change here just a little bit, because it didn't save all of these changes at the structure and the black level and the midtones, because it's not looking at that, but it is incorporating that into the style when it saves the style itself. So you can come in and change that if you'd like. But you can see that it is actually applied. So let's get out of this program and maybe let's go, or this particular image, and let's go into another night type photo from this series. And I'm going to come down to the bottom right and press reset. We'll reset back to my original. And then I'm going to come back over to my pink test, click on that, and I get a lot of that same feeling that I created in the last style now in my image. And it is transferring the color, the luminosity, and other tonalities into this image. And if you don't, you can see it's much different from the hot pink drama preset that we've initially used within the night. So I was able to create a custom style going about using this method. So that is the first way that you're able to use customizable styles. One of my favorites, though, is to actually use it from my own images. So let me go through that process. Let's say you have created something, whether you've created it within ReStyle or you've created it in something else, you've created a look that you really like, and it's kind of hard to reproduce or apply to other images. That is where this will really start to come in handy. So let's say I have this kind of more purpley preset or image that I want to see how it looks on other night images. All I have to do is open up my Topaz ReStyle, and without even doing anything, it will go ahead and apply some of the last few settings on my image right now when I take it in. So all I need to come down, press reset to get back to my original colors here. And instead of coming in and changing anything whatsoever, I'm going to come over to my plus sign, pull up that Save Preset dialog box, and I'm going to put in Purple Nights, something along that. Called description, don't need anything. Keywords, I might have some black, dark, contrasty, Something like that. Okay, and instead of saving it in my collection, I'll go ahead and save it in my night collection, and I'll say OK. It's just going to save that preset or save that style, pulling all that information without changing anything. Now I can bring other images in. I'm just going to press cancel. Now I can bring, let's see here, we'll just grab that image, another image in and see how it applies to that particular image. So actually, let's use that same house preset. There we go. So we can kind of check out the difference between all the different looks. I can just open this up. And it's in my night collection, but I don't know where in my night collection. So instead of trying to just find it, I'm going to search for it really quickly by coming into my grid. I'm going to go into my keyword search up top and just type in purple. Right. Nights. Once I start keeping on typing, it will eventually, as you get down to the rest of it, it will filter out and continue searching as you type, and you'll see what you're searching for. If you know it by name, great. If you're looking for just night images, you can search for anything in here. That's what I really love about this, is all the different search options. And here is what our purple night preset that we just created now looks on this image, which is completely different than that first image or first style that we created. Here's before. Here's after. Then you can come over here to your right and work on maybe the opacity a little bit. For me, I would probably bring back a little bit of my blacks because it started to get a little bit hazy. So I'm just going to take my black level down just a couple notches. Not much. Maybe add in a little bit of structure. Again, not much. And I'm really happy actually with this particular look. So if you're trying to apply the same type of look to your, like a whole batch of images, it's really easy to do so using ReStyle. And you don't have to go in and create this long action or anything like that. You can just read your actual image style, the original, or what I say the source image style, and then apply it to your target image and work from there. And it's usually a good transfer, especially if they're the same type of feeling. Like right now we've just been working with night images, and if I tried to apply this night preset to another type of image, it might be super contrasty because there's a lot of black and a lot of light as well. So I like to kind of work in the same genre whenever I'm doing these style saves. So that is the second way, by using one of your own styles that you've already created and have or really love. One of a fun way, what I think is really cool, is you don't even have to use your own. You can actually use an image that you find online, take a screenshot, bring it in, it'll read the colors and the luminosity, and you can then apply that particular style to your image. Now, it's not going to be a 100% transfer of the same colors, same luminosity, same contrast. It's just going to be an overall feeling that that original source image gave you. So let's go through that process and see what we can come up with. Let me cancel out of here. And I'm going to bring in my browser here. And I think I already have some pulled up. Yes, I do. All right, so I am actually on Stock Exchange. It is a free stock photography site where you can use images and with the standard restrictions that they have. So I feel comfortable downloading from this site, and I'm just going to, let's see here. I actually really like this one. When I first came into the home image, this was their daily inspiration, image over here on the right, and I really like the overall kind of older feeling I got from the image. It's very moody, and that's really where ReStyle is going to shine. So I don't know what's going to happen with the style once I actually take it into ReStyle, but let's check it out. So I'm just going to click on the image. It's going to pull up, and all I have to do, right click, I can save image. I'll save it to my desktop. That'll be, there we go. And let's hop on in over here to maybe a similar type of, or actually first I have to create the style. That's the trick, isn't it? All right, so I'm going to come over to File, Open, Desktop, grab my inspiration image, open that up. Very nice, very pretty. But I want to see how it's going to look on my images, this type of look and feel. So I'm going to come over to Topaz Labs, Topaz ReStyle. And you can kind of get where I was saying that a night image applied to a daylight image, definitely going to transform it and give you a whole different look, but you can see it starts to almost become a little too much because it's not the same type of lighting, and daylight versus nighttime is going to give you a completely different style. So I'm going to press Reset, and I'm just going to download directly or create this style directly from this image by coming down, going to my plus, preset name, we'll say flower 1. And created by Nichole. Keywords. I like to kind of look at some of the colors within here as well. So I might say something, it looks kind of a soft image, or soft, has some blues in there, some light blue, so light blue maybe, older type of feel to it. So I just try to type in keywords that are going to make sense for this particular preset. So here I'm going to say OK. Oh, actually I'm going to, let's save it in my nature collection and say OK. So it's going to save that preset. Without ever having to come over here to the right-hand side and see anything coming up like that. And I have had a couple questions of why does it take longer to save presets in this program than other programs, and it is the technology that is actually reading the image behind the scenes. When you're saving in other programs of ours, it's actually only reading the slider values, which takes a much smaller amount of time than actually coming in and reading the tone and color and luminosity and feel of the particular style you're trying to create. So I've created this, and I'm going to say cancel. Maybe grab, oh, this is a good one. I'm going to uncheck this. This is our original image. Kind of the same flowery type of feel, except the colors are significantly different. So let's see what happens. I'm going to go into Topaz ReStyle, press Reset, and go into my nature collection. And instead of actually going into and trying to find it again, I'll just open it up. And you actually don't have to be in the collection that you saved the preset in or style in to find it with this keyword search. So if I wanted to find a night image, I could actually type in night, and it will pull up a lot of my night presets here, and you can tell because these are really dark, have a lot of black in them. So it doesn't matter if you're in the nature collection. The keywords will actually override whatever collection you've chosen at the beginning. So now I'm going to come in, and I remember that I named it Flower 1. Let's see here, Flower 1. Oh, there we have it. And I'm going to, that actually looks pretty good. Check on that. And I get that same feeling that I had from that original image. A lot of the same tonalities, a lot of the same kind of softness, lightness about it. If you want to come in and work with the right-hand side, of course, this is available to you. So let's check that out. I'm going to see my different, and I like the normal still. All right, but I think I might take some, well, no, I'll leave the opacity at 100 so we can really come in and see how it looks next to the other one without doing anything whatsoever. So I'm going to press OK. And let's take a look at the original. Here's where we started, or this is the style that we created. And when transferred to this image, which actually started out here, it created a similar tonality, similar colors to our original. And that's really what ReStyle is all about. It's about seeing a completely different vision from an image. And look at the change that we have here. This is also something I created in ReStyle versus an entirely different type of image. And again, that's what ReStyle is trying to give you, all the different creative possibilities for your image. So let's go through this one more time. Let's say I think I brought in some of the images I took on my iPhone. Yeah. Oh, these are pretty poor quality. They were taken with an iPhone and they weren't super, I was pretty far away, so not great. But let's play around with it and see what we can do. So let's say I like this particular image, but not really feeling this blue, cool tone. Maybe I want something a little bit more of a warmer sunset going on. I can easily get that if I create a style. So let's say again, maybe I'm over in my stock exchange and I look for maybe beach sunset. Pulls up different beach images and I can get inspired through here and say, you know what, I kind of like, this is pretty nice. So I kind of like this. It's pretty. Has a little bit more drama than my particular image, so I wonder how it's going to look. I'm just going to save that image to my desktop. Go through this process again. I'm going to open up my inspiration image. Save it. By coming down here again, oh, that's kind of interesting. This is the flower style, or the flower 1 style applied to this image. Changes it entirely. Let me press reset. And button, I'll do a beach sunset 1. And I'll just save that in my collection, press OK. Once it's done, I'm just going to cancel out, come over to my image, and let's see what we can do. Now, I haven't done anything with this image. It's very noisy at this point, so I'm expecting to see quite a bit of noise happening whenever I apply anything, because if you look at it, it already does have a lot of noise. But it's still interesting to see the changes really quickly. So let's go to my collection and just grab that beach sunset 1. Wow. Here's before. Here's after. Completely changes it. I would probably come in again and just see what it might look like with maybe a different, that's kind of nice actually, that soft light. Luminosity is interesting too, but I still like the normal, and I'm going to go to the opacity. I don't know why it keeps doing that. And probably take that down a notch. Here's before, here's after, perhaps going down into my structure and really kicking that up a notch with that localized contrast. Maybe taking my midtones down or even up. So you can play around with this and really get something that you truly like. And then you can save it again if you'd like, because this is going to give you a completely different style than where we started with that Beach Sunset 1 style. So I hope this gives you an idea of really what's going on behind the scenes when it comes to all these different styles and how we created over 1,000 different styles for you to search through. We took tons of images into this program and saved these styles. So it's actually pulling from a different image whenever you select these styles. Now let's say I want to show you a couple more things before I start taking questions. If you have any questions, please type them into your questions module now, and I'll try to get to them in the next 20 minutes. But I do have a few people asking about the other search options, so very excited to show you that. I'm going to go ahead and go into my presets here, or my preset grid view. And, oh, that's cool. That test, this one over here, that's pretty. Okay, so some of the first things that, let's say we come down to this beach sunset, and I like it, but it's not exactly what I'm after. It's maybe I'm inspired by it, and I want to see if there are some other presets like this or other styles like this that I can check out. Well, it's very difficult to just directly scroll through 1,000 different styles. It's a little overwhelming. So we have a ton of search tools in here to quickly get you exactly where you need to be. So once you find something that is going to inspire you, so this beach sunset one, you can come over here all the way to the right, and there's a little icon that has a double tag. When you click on that double tag, your your cursor will turn into that double tag icon, and you can come down to the preset that's inspiring you, click on it, and it will pull up other styles that have similar qualities to this original one that you chose, which should now be over in this upper left-hand corner. And then you can scroll through. It'll pull up 16 of them. You can scroll through and see if something is inspiring you a little bit more. And if so, then you can click on that. I actually really like this city skyline in the lower right, so maybe I come over and I go through the same process again. Now it's going to pull up presets that are similar to my city skyline. Now what it's really looking at whenever it's looking at similarities are going to be the first two dominant colors. So the city skyline style, the most dominant colors is kind of this lighter gray, blue-gray, and then this darker taupe type of color. And as you look at these other presets or these other style themes to the right, you'll see that they follow this type of behavior. So some of them won't look exactly the same as the one that you chose because they might have other colors that aren't the same within the following dominant colors, number 3, 4, and 5, but it's looking at that first two dominant colors. And very cool stuff. So another way of searching. Let's say I'm kind of intrigued by what might happen if I search for this yellow gold type of color. Well, when you scroll over with your cursor any of these colors within these color themes, you can see that your cursor actually changes into a magnifying glass. And you can just click on whichever one you want. And now, because I clicked on that fiery or that orangey color, it's pulling up presets or styles that have that orange color as the dominant color within the preset. And again, you can tell with the color theme swatches down here that it is pulling up all of these that have this more yellowy type of feel. And you can just sit there and keep searching. Now, one thing, somebody had asked is, what if I can't find anything and I just want to scroll randomly? Well, we have a random icon as well now. Directly to the left of the find the same type of preset, we have a random. can just start clicking on that, and it's going to pull from every collection. It's just going to pull randomly 16 different looks, and if you don't see anything you like there, keep looking. It's going to still pull random looks. Don't see anything you like there, just keep on clicking. And something will catch your eye to where you say, wait a minute, that's actually really pretty. I'm going to see how that, I kind of like this bleached warmth. So now I'm going to click on the similar, click on the bleached warmth, and now it's going to pull up all these presets that have similar qualities to that bleached warmth preset. Other ways of searching for your different types of styles or kind of narrowing it down is these different folder options that you have up here. Beneath each preset preview here, you have several things. You have that search tool that we just went over, but to the left of that we have a camera, which is going to be selecting the different styles that might interest you within that particular session that you're in. So you can click on all the ones that interest you. So I kind of was interested in these 4, so I'm just clicking on these cameras. You can tell that they're selected when they turn blue. And then if I come up to this folder that has the little camera on it, it will then pull up only the styles that I have actually selected and want to look at individually. And then if you have different styles that you find yourself going back to again and again, you can actually select the star. The star is going to be a favorite, and that is going to be sticky throughout the program. So it's not one particular session, it actually keeps going. So if I get out of this session, I can come back in and click on my favorite presets folder, and it will pull up this new bleached warmth that I just selected. You can come up here to the favorites folder, click on that. It's going to pull up all the ones that I have put as my favorites since I've had this program. And I can say, oh, wait, I kind of like this vibrant bondy blue now, and click on that and work with that a little bit more. And I hope that gives you an idea of how easy it really is to kind of narrow down and really zero in on the look that you're after. These presets that I just showed you, I'm sorry, not the presets, the icons that I just showed you are also here within this presets options in this particular interface as well. It's not just within the grid view, so you can come in and look through your favorites. Go back to that bleached warmth, see if I like that, which I do. You can go back to the snapshots that you still have selected, and you have those to scroll over and kind of check out a little bit more. Maybe I'm more interested in this, kind of an older feel. And you can find similar presets to the preset that you just put onto your image. So if I want to find something similar to this Laurel Green preset, I just click on my similarities, and all of these different similar presets will start to pop up. All right, with that, I will go ahead and turn it over to you. I hope this gives you an idea of what's happening behind the scenes and how many different ways you really have to create customizable styles within this particular session or within this particular program, and how it's creating these styles. And hopefully giving you inspiration at the same time. So stick around for another 15 minutes while I answer some of these questions coming through, and I'll announce the winner of Topaz ReStyle. Let's see here. I don't know who asked this, but it says, does it matter if the keywords are separated by commas or not? No, it does not. The keywords, when they were typed into the actual presets themselves, or when they were saved, do not have commas, so commas aren't going to matter. If you want to see, let's say, you want to make it more easily searchable for you by some of the words that you have in your search categories, you can actually type in and edit the default presets that we have in here. So all of these presets, you are now able to edit the keywords and the description. You're not able to edit the name of the default presets, but you are able to edit the name of your user-made presets if you ever want to. We have this little edit icon now next to the save icon. It looks like a little sheet of paper. You just open that or click on that, and you'll see that this beach sunset preset Oh, I guess I had another one called Beach Sunset, or is this the one I just created? I think I just created it. Oh no, it's different. This says beach, sea, clouds, rocks, trees. Um, and those keywords are pulling from content of the original image, things that it might be good for, or it's going to be pulling from colors. So faded limerick, if you open that up, you'll see green, brown, olive, warm, light, soft, muted, haze, and hopefully you'll see that similar type of look from those keywords within the preset itself. So that is how the keywords are working. Robert says, can ReStyle be used on black and white photos? If so, could Nichole show how? Absolutely, Robert. This is actually an amazing program for black and white images. Let's check it out. Let me open up a black and white image. Here we are. Just know that your even though it's a black and white image, it needs to be, like the rest of our programs, in the RGB color mode. We don't accept any layers or files that aren't in that. So if it is a grayscale image, just come in and quickly change it to RGB color so it'll function with Topaz filters. And within ReStyle, we have a ton of black and white presets within this program as well. Let me reset here. Especially within our street photography collection. But you can open that up, and it's amazing. It's just toning your image, and very quickly you can check out all these different looks. So I kind of like this dusty wicker cloud. I'm getting inspired by that. Also by this reflected afternoon colors. So I'm going to check off a few that I'm kind of getting inspired by. Going more towards the warmth, and now take a look at some of those. All right, let's take a look at this one. Pretty. So again, I might come into my opacity and take that down a notch if I think it's a little heavy-handed for this particular image. Can still come in and change the luminosity and the saturation of the different colors that are being applied. You can come in and change your structure and anything and kind of get some contrast back that you might have lost through the preset itself or through the style itself, because it might have been pulling from an image that had a little bit more haze or not as much contrast as your particular image. And here's before, here's after. Very quickly can have some awesome toning on your black and white imagery. Sergey says, if you save in a preset other than my collection, can it be removed later? Yes. So let's see here. We saved in, I don't want to get rid of that Purple Nights. I really liked it. So let me go to that nature one. And I believe it was the flower one preset. So let me kind of scroll through here, find that. There we go, flower one. I can come in and I can delete it. And it'll delete right away, even though it's still applied to your image. It's no longer in the list, and it is now gone. So very quickly can delete your user-made presets that you don't like. I've had a couple people ask about portraits, and yes, I definitely can show you a portrait image. I've also worked on it with portraits quite a bit last week, so you'll see that in upcoming archived webinars. But let's see here. It works really well with styles of portraits. If you're obviously going for a more natural portrait style within your portrait photography, then this is not the program for you, but if you like a more stylized look to your portraits, if you want something that maybe has a soft and hazy, dreamy type of a feel to it, or something that has more fashion, a lot of toning going on, especially in the shadows, you can come in and quickly achieve that Let's open up a quick portrait image. Let's open up one of these guys. Let's see here. Oh, I love this picture. All right, so it's a nice portrait to start off with, for sure. However, you can achieve so many different looks very quickly. And so all I do is take this into ReStyle. I will point out that we do have two collections, portrait collection and a fashion collection, both of which are going to be the best collections for images that have skin tone, because we pulled from images that had skin tone. Therefore, it's within that color style already. If you are pulling from, let's say, a night collection, you will not find many things happy happening to your picture. You might find some, but nothing. Well, that's pretty nice. So some, but you're going to find more percentage-wise, the portrait and fashion are going to be better for portrait and fashion images. So if you click on, open that on up, you'll see a lot of these have fairly good skin tones, and you just scroll through and see what inspires you, like you would any other image. And if you want to mask out the skin tone and keep the original skin tone, it's very easy to do that as well. So if you just want to have a more stylized background and maybe just a little bit of style on the skin, that is super easy to do as well. So let's show you that just in case. Well, actually, I'll save some of these. Oh, that's pretty. Okay, I'm just going through really quickly to check out a few of these that I'm just immediately is catching my eye. I don't take a lot of time during this particular process. I just click on the ones that start to catch my eye, and then I kind of zero in on them from there. I'm also going to go into the fashion collection because that has a lot of skin tone type of styles as well. So I'm going to click on the fashion. And it's now going to pull up a lot of my fashion presets. You'll notice that the fashion styles are going to be a little bit more dramatic than the portrait collection, and that's just by nature of the fashion versus more lifestyle portrait photography. It's going to be usually a little bit more dramatic, heavy-handed. So, but I'm still seeing some things I like in here. I did have some people asking, why does it continue to load? Because we have so many presets within each collection. It actually loads as you scroll down. So as you continue scrolling, you'll see that it will continue loading. Ooh, I really like that. And once you have everything you like, I'm just going to click on this now. And let's check out with just a one click. You know what? I'm going to actually X out of here and going into my folder of snapshots that I just took, so I can see it on my full image. We can check out all the different looks at a full size here. So very different looks. In a very short amount of time for you to check out. So let's say I have something like this Final Gaze preset that I like the background. I'm interested in it, but I don't like what's happening to her skin. You can also work with portraits very quickly by using our masking as well. So if I'm going to open up my masking module real quick, there's a masking module attached to every single one of our, well, there's only two, the basic and the ReStyle module within this program, and there's a masking area attached to each one, so you can come in and do selective masking on your actual color style, and you can also come in and do masking on any basic adjustments that you make as well. I'm just going to click that on and just quickly show you. If you want to learn more about the masking, again, I would check out the intro webinar where we go into that very specifically. Let's take that strength to about 0.5 because I want to keep some of that warmth and redness in her skin to go along with the original style, but I just don't want as much that's in there right now. I'm going to take that hardness down, and using the edge aware brush, I'm able to come in and just paint on her skin paint out about 50% because my brush is at 0.49, so that's about 50%, out of her hair and her face, her arms, her neck. And you'll see over there on the top right as I'm doing this exactly how edgy-wear this is, as long as you keep the crosshairs of your brush on the area that you want to affect and nowhere else, it will only affect that particular color. So very quickly, here's where I started. Actually, if I gave my full style here, here's where I started, and here's where I ended up. And here's before and after. Much more natural, but still has a nice style to it. All right, everybody, looks like I got all the questions that were sent to me, so thank you so much. If I didn't answer them, I apologize. You can, again, send it to yes, you can, webinars@topazlabs.com. Thanks again for joining me, and we'll just be talking to you later. Bye-bye.